380 carry bans from T1.
Wow, never mind, they are going to do it.
They are just going to slam that Lulu. So, consistent follow-up on the Vi makes Nocturne's job a lot harder, but it does reduce your follow-up on the engage a bit, and you got to remember that you're dealing into a Jace. If this Jace gets fed and he's just poking you out, it might be harder to find some recourse against it with the Lulu in this situation.
Is it just like Corki Nami or something like that? Going for, like, let's dominate lane as much as possible?
Caitlyn and Nivea?
Caitlyn Lux. Oh, wow.
Bringing out the classics.
Exactly. And I mean, when Keria plays Lux, it used to be one of the scariest times to be an opponent in the game. And we haven't seen it for a really long time.
This is the kind of mix up where you're like, look, we need something that can survive lane, and then you end up playing MF Lulu and you're like, oh man,
that feels terrible.
Even if you win lane, like, what was the point?
Well, we're gonna maybe find out. I think it's a bit of a masterstroke though with the Caitlyn Lux versus T1 as possible. Let's get into the Rift for game 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift 4. Game number 2. DPLUS Kia leading at 1-0 right now over T1. And we have some doubts about how this DK draft is going to go. It's Aftershock Cassante as well, who's expecting to have a horrible time in lane. I'm, cautious about how this one's going to look. But there we go. Double up damage is going to connect, and then Keria loses half of his health bar.
That's not a good start. I didn't really expect anything else, but it's
I was going to say, what does a good start look like?
Not getting hit by the Peacemaker, I think. The thing with Lux, it's kind of Karma-esque in the sense that, I mean, okay, one thing that she doesn't have that Karma has is the defensive shielding. Lux W just isn't as good as Karma shield, doesn't give you the movement speed, and the like immediate on-demand power because you have to wait for it to come back. But what she has in similarity to Karma is the very, very hard to dodge big AoE damage ability.
That slows you down.
Yeah, so Keria has Comet, and because you're slowed, you get hit by the Comet, has Scorch. And actually double check if he had Scorch, but I'm 90% sure he did.
Oh god, the combos.
Honestly, you can also, yeah, there it is, there's Scorch. You can also go Cheap Shot and have all 3 runes proc on an E and just be like undodgeable damage. Didn't do that, because obviously free boots and the extra summoner cooldown makes a lot of sense, but I've seen that build, and it's just like you can't dodge the E and all 3 of the runes proc, and you're like, cool. That's really enjoyable. I'm having fun playing the game.
Doesn't sound very interactive, as now the turret will be taking a whole bunch of damage. Keria going to be helping Smash out here as far as clearing out the wave, but first plate is going to be going at 2.5 minutes. And I don't think I see it getting much better from here.
Yeah, not the best start overall. Not too many positive things to say.
Yeah.
But Showmaker's doing pretty good mid.
There you go. That's something.
But we're staying torch bot.
Yeah.
Watch the suffering.
Well, Smash, he's got his strut. He's trying to strut his stuff, and it's just not a good time.
I think one thing is, especially because we have specifically the Lulu and not like a Bard or a Nico or just a traditional engage support, you're not getting the 3 camp in a bot from Lucid. Because I think if we had something like that, even though you'd be pressured in a similar way, you could just 3 camp in a bot, set up the gang, burn sums at minimum, probably get a kill with how they're playing. But the reason Pays and Keria are playing so aggressive here is because there's just no... What is a Lulu going to do? Slow you with a Glitter Lance off a minion? And then if Lucid goes in and Oner's there, the game is over. If Oner's not there, you still probably don't get kills.
Wow, really nice trade there from Showmaker. I think that I imagine most people are much more interested in watching any lane other than this bottom lane, outside of T1 fans that just want to watch them having a good time.
He's missed a cannon, though.
Ooh, that's a negative. Having a look at that 85% win rate, though, on Keria's Lux is certainly very nice. Shu going to get a bit of a boot back here.
Oh, the Aftershock comes in, so he can't be dove.
There you go. High value. And he's, within touching distance of the Jace. That's what we want to see. Hasn't got enough solo kills to really be considered a great performance by today's standards, but Still doing just fine. But yeah, this is not the let's start a snowball and win the game for DPLUS that they really need this time around. Looking for that double up onto Pays, did not quite find it. And so yeah, it is currently T1 just kind of winning everywhere. And even though no First Bloods have gone down just yet, they just continue to play like this. This composition is going to age quite nicely.
Yeah. At least they're doing a decent job of trying to trade back, but it's just so difficult. And it's kind of just Smash alone. You really don't have a ton of help from the Lulu other than the occasional shield.
Yeah.
But if the Lulu walks up and gets bound by the all, as I was saying.
Speaking of being bound, that is all of the damage. There's the headshot. Losing Singularity pops, and Keria goes home.
Ow.
Yeah,
honestly,
use heal as well.
The thing is, you may think, wow, this looks really tough, this looks really rough. This isn't as bad as it can get, because...
They're not dead.
Well, yeah, because what's going to happen is they're going to recall, they're going to buy, and suddenly you eat a binding, you just die.
Yeah.
Like, you just are dead on the back of it. Because right now, with no AD really, other than the Doran's Blade, no AP behind Keria of any sorts, it's like, you know, there's just not that much damage. Now you're going to get some oomph behind it. When Pays buys, yeah, that's a BF sword, that'll do.
Good lord. Well, I mean, at least Smash gets his BF sword, but he also can't walk
Keria,
quite as fast.
not to feel left out, double amp to him. He's like, we are winning this lane. My next combo is going to kill him. I'm going to be level 6. That Lulu is dead. And Keria makes a decision to wander somewhere else. Honestly, great decision.
Yeah.
Good call.
Not being in that lane sounds like a great idea.
I'd probably just be somewhere else too.
Well, Oner is actually going to be able to push Lucid away here. Secures his Raptor camp quite comfortably. And Faker going to take some damage from Showmaker. Chains do not proc, so not going to take that full combo. We'll be able to stick around here for the moment, but you can see 11 CS the lead for the LeBlanc, doing what it's supposed to. As, yeah, Smash has to walk to Narnia in order to be safe, and he's not safe there.
Ow. Even with Barrier, that's still a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, he's about half health, and it's just, this is the problem, it's not going to get better. If they can press the attack as well, he's not really able to press much attacking actually, at this point in time.
Yeah. 3 autos, good luck getting those off.
Yeah. Maybe later, when they're distracted killing someone else. That might be an opportunity, but I don't know whether that's going to happen. As here on the top side, at least she was able to walk up in the lane.
Lucid does have ult now, though, so they see an angle.
Ooh. There is also Showmaker moving his way over. Oner wants to be able to take this and will be able to collect it there. Good smite.
Okay, well, I think one of the problems, though, is as much as... Oh, no.
Oh, no, he's caught again. And net connects. There's the headshot. Has to flash. Keria finds it. And actually, it's the first blood going over to Pays. They did have to invest a fair bit as Doran's flashed out of the way. Great Q going to connect from Shiu here. Trying to do his best clear impression, but you can see actually has flash advantage now in the 1v1.
Yeah, that's the difference the item buys makes in the all-in. So, honestly, tiny little bit misplayed at the end because I had to both flash for it.
Oh yeah,
that's my only criticism. But otherwise, no notes. Pretty flawless from Pays and Keria, especially Pays getting the maximum amount of headshots. Trapped down, does the net, auto, second auto. And I think Keria maybe cancelled an auto there.
I think Keria tried to auto, but the bullet from the Caitlyn goes a little faster.
I think he cancelled an auto and then flashed after.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. If there'd only been one flash, would have been flawless. But either way, still a shoot to kill and just showing this is how it's going to go from now on. You eat a binding, you're just dead.
Yep. Showmaker doesn't quite find the chains.
Because that was without Luxult, which they now have.
Well, now they've got Ace in the hole as well, which is just going to be even more unavoidable damage. At least Smash is able to walk out of that Lucent Singularity this time. But I feel like we have contested every single Raptor camp. This time Lucid's able to win a Smite fight.
This is the problem, is that like Lucid's like, cool, I'm contesting Raptors, but like, you'd really love him to be ganking bot, but if you go bot, Nocturne's coming too.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to be a good time. So.
And if he doesn't, he takes all of your things. As one of the grubs will go over to Lucid. You can see Shiu pushed up in this lane. Oner is looking to make his way in. See whether he does hit an ulti or anything like that, as right now he's moving over towards these grubs to try and take down Lucid. Faker comes on in. Emperor's Divide is going to go wide there as the Paranoia is on top of Lucid for now, but Showmaker's making his way over. Still, Doran gets on in there. There is the cease and desist as Shu comes in, gives over that shield, and Showmaker's going to have to get himself out of there. Does get the chain down, and Pathmaker is going to make a path for Shu to try and get himself out. Lucid actually very cheekily is looking for a crab. I don't know whether that's quite legal, as he is just going to have to Vault Break his way over that wall. So no one dead, as Shu is actually going to look to re-engage one more time. There's the all-out as he pulls Doran over, turns his attention towards Oner now, as he's doing so much damage. Vault Breaker comes in, and that is going to be the kill onto Doran. Shu playing like a madman.
Yeah, nice pick coming in from Shu, and I think T1 getting a little bit overconfident there, hanging around, not respecting the ult off the Cassante, which can just easily set up onto the likes of Jace. This was a pretty chaotic fight. Like, we have Faker trying to all-in Showmaker, Doran's trying to run down. We have Oner all-inning on a Lucid. And then here, Lucid's ult actually interrupts Doran's to the skies that was going to land on him. So he doesn't take as much damage as he would have otherwise.
Whoa. There's stuff happening in live as well. The final spark does go wide.
Oh,
the
no.
Light binding, Lucid singularity, everything! And the bullet time will at least clear out the wave. And the replay will continue as Doran does die there once again. But yeah, DK...
they still had heal and wild growth, but definitely a recall angle.
100%. That gold lead is going to extend their phase as well. And T1 will be starting off their second dragon of the game. Not going to be another Chemtech ult. I've seen a few of those so far today.
I've locked in.
Yeah, nicely done. Thank you, Ox.
Oh.
Showmaker is going to get snared. Chains will connect, but he has to get the heck out of dodge.
The clone ate the trap.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. Actually saved him quite a bit there.
We'll sort of clear out a ward, but he will not be able to stop this dragon.
I think he may have died. Not 100% certain.
When does it get better here for DPLUS?
I think they have decent pick potential. And if they play around top side, that's where I can get better. But,
Ooh, Lucid actually looking to come in here. As Vault Breaker going to get charged. Keria with a heal for the movement speed to get himself out of the way. Cease and desist was up there for Lucid. Keria did have flash, so could have gotten towards the turret there, I believe, which is why Lucid wasn't pulling the trigger immediately. Still, I mean, showing signs of life here. The gold lead is under 1,000.
But look at the bot lane lead.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so dire. Okay, Showmaker is in a decent spot at least, so if he finds something, if he makes something happen, that can be the angle.
Well, Stormrazor is done for pays.
Okay. And it's Hextech Soul. Definitely the soul you want if you've been crushing bot like this.
Yes. It feels pretty good for T1 if this time around they're able to collect a soul. And with 2 Drakes in pocket, certainly feeling very good about that. 4 minutes until we'll see any real thing develop there. As Lucid wanting to start a bit of a fight here as Faker possibly out of position. Doran there. He's going to walk on in though. And T1 are just going to back away, playing it safe.
I think it's such a danger for Lucid to try... Oh!
The light binding tries to catch him, but he does make it far enough away.
Such a danger for Lucid to commit an ult in this situation because everyone has flashes and they might just flash away and take you with them into where you don't want to be.
Well, Pei's actually taking a lot of damage there, so good trade for Smash. As, yeah, Keria also taking too much damage. Another chain connects onto Faker, but he's going to be okay for the moment. Nash's Tooth almost done. Does have some shoes for himself as well. As Keria walks over a control ward, but doesn't seem too bothered about it. Heal has to come out to dodge the light binding. And the DK bottom lane will live to see another day. As Oner is going to come in and try and kill Showmaker. There is the Paranoia, and he's just dead. I feel like Showmaker just kept walking towards him when maybe he shouldn't have.
Good comms between Faker and Oner to be like, you know, Showmaker's ult is down. And that was a difference maker. Normally, you know, you have ult in LeBlanc, it's so hard to find a kill, have the second dash available, but even with flash that ends up going down, just a bit overconfident, hanging around after some heavy trades with Faker, and gets punished for it. And that's unfortunate because that was the point of pressure.
Yeah.
DPLUS was the mid lane. And if Showmaker's going down there, definitely a worrying omen.
Well, Lucid is going to be spotted here momentarily. Boost Singularity pretty good at finding that as Showmaker actually dashing forward. Does have the ultimate this time as the chains will connect and gets the flash out of Faker. And so Showmaker will have his flash a little bit before his opposition. Maybe there's an angle towards trying to get a kill onto this Azir at some point in this game. In the next 5 minutes, she will move down towards this bottom side. All quests complete. So we're going to have a look at this replay.
Showmaker just pushed up, killing the ward. That distortion felt a little short as well, that first one. Like, you didn't get like the full distance from it. But I don't know how much difference it would have made. Oner still had flash in pocket, so...
And ulti, so there's too many things.
Yeah.
So Lucid back to farming. He'll be able to clear out his camps once again. Oner doing the same thing, 1-0-0. Hexplate now done. Lucid also has his first item complete as well. 1.5k is the lead. It's almost entirely towards that bottom side. Why did I say entirely so weird? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Like, it builds suspense.
Sometimes you do just say things weird, but I assume that's because you're Australian.
Yeah, that was like, I've said entirely before, and then I just decided to say entirely that time. I don't know why.
You know that thing where you just hear a word too much or you say a word too much?
Oh yeah, it just doesn't have any meaning anymore.
It just, you can't make sense of it.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm sure that's not how you say it or spell it, or...
Do you know what's one for me? There's 2 words actually that have done that. The first one is news, as I'm going to have to break that for a moment. As Oner takes a bit of damage here. It's not going to be a full-on fight breaking out, so I get to talk about my silly thing once again. Yeah, the word news.
Yeah.
It just ends up sounding like a plural of new, which doesn't really make much sense. It's just very odd. And then there's obviously just funny sounding words like jungle, which if you say too many times,
I mean, I guess news is kind of a plural of news. You know, it is.
I guess it is. You see new stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just never really how how the words really worked. So maybe that's actually exactly what it is.
If you think of it in that way, if you think of it as like news.
Yeah,
it sounds weird to say.
Anyway,
new stuff. New stuff. That's what it's short for.
Maybe it's an acronym. I just have no idea what the acronym could possibly be. As anyway, Shiu is rotating up towards this dragon, which has spawned. I think contesting for Hextech Soul Point's probably going to be a good idea, as they do get the irremovable vision of this Rift Scuttler, but I just don't know whether that's going to be enough, as T1 do have a fair bit of control, especially if Keria and Pays are in the area. Still, they're not. So DPLUS are able to walk up, get some control here. And Showmaker versus Faker now moving towards the top lane this time, and Showmaker taking the worst end of that trade. Should be able to home guard back towards the mid lane though.
A lot of vision set up by DPLUS though around this dragon area. So T1 need to kind of move in and clear a lot of this out. But I think having control of the area first for this T1 comp really important. Trying to get set up in advance. You open up and expose yourself to flanks from Showmaker and Shiu. If you rush in, if you don't have vision, if you don't have your flanks covered, if you don't have just good setup in general, if you're trying to rush in late, it can be really dangerous. And that's an avenue where I can see DPLUS getting back into the game, because getting onto these squishy backliners definitely is the winning plan. Right now, though, T1 starting up the dragon. DPLUS TPing in, they are looking to approach.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of an angle here, as it's down to about 3,000, but Lucid gets into the back of the pit. The flash forward, as the bullet time is just hitting nothing at all, but it's broken apart T1 for now. Oner right underneath the dragon, and it's going to be stolen away by Lucid. Showmaker, though, is going to die, and the flash in from Shiu, the beautiful Empress Divide to disengage, though, and the final spark from Keria will be the last little gasp. So Drake traded for Showmaker. I think DPLUS probably going to be okay with that.
Yeah, very happy. They also have this angle on mid. Should be able to get a good amount of damage on the tower here. TP going to come through. Can they just dive this?
Well, they're going to look for the angle towards Doran, who does get polymorphed immediately, but they're focused on taking down the turret. And they will be able to grab that, some guaranteed gold.
That was so dangerous for Doran. They had Vial available. He's a bit bulky with Black Cleaver, though, so I guess they just didn't want to risk it. Take the tower, back away. But if you think about the end result, they got Dragon.
Yeah.
They got that mid tower. They did lose Bob, but I think DPLUS pretty happy with how things played out overall.
Yeah, she also looking for a bit of an angle here, but once again, some action. Cease and desist onto Pays as they dive in. The Wild Growth, fantastic, but Pays gets over the wall, and he'll find so much damage there. DK will also get career caught. shot, and there is not a whole lot he can do outside of flashing away. Smash able to absorb the ulti from Pays. And T1 will be able to strike back, even though it was Lucid that tried to go in.
Trying to go into Pays with his lack of flash. Oh
dear, there's the paranoia coming down. Flash out immediately, and they do get a big shield. Brilliantly done there from Keria and from Smash. And Keria, calculated, is able to keep himself alive as Showmaker's angry after that death. Somehow, that shock blast was extended enough in order to pick him up as he distorts back. But still, just going to be Oner falling down. So both junglers getting traded, and I really wanted to talk about our news thing that we were talking about before, but there's been way too much action, and now there's a replay.
Yeah, so we see in this situation, they try and engage onto Pays, get his flash initially, and then the Dragon ends up going down to 22 HP before Lucid gets it. Doran just solo Showmaker on the flank, but at this point, T1 kind of disengages. A great ult from Faker to achieve that, but it kind of stops the fight in their tracks. And then here, Lucid sees Pays, says, hey, no flash, we can go for this. But it's very good peel, and the net over the wall just completely disrupts the play. Obviously, Showmaker being a LeBlanc doesn't have to stay engaged, but Keria gets caught by Keria's binding and nearly pays for it. This, though, perhaps a step too far.
Yeah, one could say that. As, I mean, they had 4 people here. Paranoia comes in, and as soon as you press that button, you really do want to go in.
Perhaps a flying forward towards the enemy team too far.
Yeah, perhaps. That's about that much distance. Is the blue buff going to be secured here? Do I have a minute? Because Chad had some great examples of some acronyms that news could be.
Oh, yeah?
And I think that that's beautiful. For example, we had infamous Uber come up with notable events, weather, and sports.
Oh.
See?
That sounds like it could be legitimate.
I would believe that.
That sounds like the sort of thing that you believe, but it's a backronym, you know?
Right? And Harris says north, south, east, west. And it's info from all over. See, that's all the way around. Isn't that beautiful? Man.
Not in the right order, though.
And Telomere says, new entertaining world stories. Another thing that it could be. These are wonderful.
Are we sure these aren't real?
I can't believe I had to wait like 25 minutes in order to talk about it because there was so much action for that brief period of time. It was very frustrating.
I'm feeling a little convinced by some of these, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Anyway, thank you so much, chat, for your acronyms. You can keep them coming if the action is going to abate once again, but I have a feeling that it's not. Still, DK managing to get themselves a Drake, maybe. That puts them into touching distance, but we kind of want DK to lose. And I know that sounds like I'm a biased commentator, and I guess I am, because I do just want 3 games. Just think that we deserve it.
Yeah.
So there's a minute's time, and that's when T1 can potentially lock down a soul point and try and even out the series.
45 seconds on that. Showmaker putting some pressure down the sideline, does have that TP. Vision set up in the area is heavily favored towards T1 with that triangle of control wards in the area. This one feels a lot harder for DPLUS to push into. Also, Pays, he's gone straight for the damage items. i.e. with the crit cloak in pocket, he's like, I want big crits.
Well, he is also going to have some attack speed built up relatively soon as well, and that's going to make him all the more terrifying. By the way, I think the actual definition of news is actually just the plural of new things.
Oh.
So that's what I said.
I like the acronyms, you know?
Yeah, I think the acronyms are better. So I think I'd like to retroactively just go back and change how it's supposed to work.
That's what people do. That's what acronyms are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things where people have done that and said, oh, engage coming in.
Yeah, a bit of paranoia here from Oner, who is a little bit by himself, but so is Lucid, who is going to get cut up. The wild growth, not enough, as Faker is going to grab that kill. Meanwhile, Keria doing a whole lot of work, and Keria is going to have to get himself out. No flash available, or no flash able to be used. And Showmaker was in the top lane this entire time. Teleport from Faker will be able to answer that, so they're not even able to make the cross-map play, and T1 will get that soul point.
Pretty hard for DPLUS to approach that one, trying to get their way in, but the vision setup, the control was there, and T1's composition thrives when they're the ones who can lock down whoever's approaching. 3rd Dragon in pocket, with there being a Hextech Soul, very scary. But they're TPing in, they want to contest this Baron.
Yeah, double teleports do bring Shiu and Showmaker over. And the traps were set up, but they're a little bit far away. As Showmaker gets in there, that's a lot of damage. They want to try and get rid of Oner as Shiu.
Oh, look at Smash.
It's a brick wall, he flashes in, the bullet time comes down, it's Oner that locks up the Baron, but can they keep themselves alive? That's the question. It's Xiu that goes down, and T1 build the phalanx, and it's so difficult. Lucid has found his way in, though, and Pays is going to get locked down by Showmaker. It's a bit of a shooting gallery now, but they've taken out the Misfortune, who is going for a weird sort of flank angle. Still, Showmaker gets on over towards Doran, and Doran just wants to take him down. The hammer comes in, and T1 will win the fight and secure the Baron.
I feel like there was so much setup to that Baron from DPLUS, like the loop around, the long flank from Smash, all to just get wiped completely from it. And here, they try and push in aggressively, but the binding comes in, the shuffle from Fake is great, and there's just nowhere Lucid could go. You know, trying to contest the Banana Brush when there's a control ward for the other team in it, and then Keria just gets caught up in the aftermath. But here, look at Smash going on this long flank, and he tries to go for this ult, but the setup doesn't connect. Like, Xiu actually knocks Pays out of it.
Yeah, I feel like if he had ulted the Baron, maybe it would have been a better idea. They didn't have any any smite in there, though, so that was almost definitely going to Oner.
You can see
Smashes is in such an awkward position.
That's the sort of play you go for, and you say, oh, watch this.
And we did.
Yeah, and then it didn't work out. You could see the idea, though. You could see what he was going for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it stayed in his mind, and the actual play was a lot less impressive. So now T1 with Baron in hand, pushing in.
And their composition does a lot of sieging quite well. Caitlyn certainly built for it, but Jace is also able to do so much damage to these structures if given any time at all. And DPLUS kind of caught reeling at this point. And the comeback mechanics of this composition are few and far between. As Showmaker, that was the choice that he probably wouldn't make again, as he's just dead. Distorting into a trap. That cupcake must have looked so good.
Oner just pressuring the side wave with the
I like how you just
Baron
no comment on that one at all.
No.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Let that one lie.
Let that one. I think you said enough.
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, the base is going to get broken, and so is this inhibitor. And Lucid defending this mid-inner turret, but I don't think for very long, as there aren't very many plates remaining there. Doran over here. Should be able to take this one out. And Keria looks for a little bit of a light binding opportunity, but doesn't quite find it. To the Skies is interrupted there by Lucid as Keria comes over. But with the rest of T1 turning up and Faker on a pretty good angle to get a shuffle, I don't think they want to be making this play.
A lot of damage done in terms of structures. 5,000 Baron power play was kind of helped out by the fact that they won a fight immediately after the Baron.
Yeah.
But even so, it's a lot of gold for a team who already had a lot of gold. It must have been delicious.
It must have been. I really hope that it was, because it cost him a lot. It's pretty expensive. Infinity Edge is on the way here for Smash. Just don't know what it really does. As T1, they're just hex skating back towards the DPLUS base to look for anything else that they can get done. There is a top outer turret that only has one plate remaining, but some bounty gold. But do they ever get there? Probably not. Is what I'm assuming.
There's an IE picked up for Smash. Is this the comeback?
Yeah, totally. I was thinking about being honest, and then I was like, no, let's see whether we can try and drill some drama in here.
Yeah, well, it's Dragon in 40 seconds. It is a Hextech Soul. But you see, because all of T1 are on the top side, maybe this is a chance for DPLUS to get a little bit of vision over there.
There you go.
They're going to push the mid wave up. Maybe get a way to sneak in. If Showmaker comes out, you know, full combo out of a brush, he could kill
Keria.
someone.
Maybe.
No, Keria has
he's got an arm guard. Okay, never mind. It's not Faker because he's got his Zhonya's.
Let's go with Pays.
Yeah, there we go.
Killing the 80 carry, always good.
Well, Oner and Faker took a little bit of damage there from DPLUS. As Xiu is teleported in, does have his big old shield. Actually, some nice footwork there as well, as Dash Cannon can augment the damage here of Showmaker, but Xiu is now going to get cut up. My goodness, when Pays really wants to start killing you, he will certainly do so, as Lucid tanks up that ulti from Pays. Keria round the back of the pit here isn't exactly all that valuable, but Showmaker is going to be able to find Doran. He goes to the skies, might just be able to take out this LeBlanc, but he's not going to be able to do so. Still, she does die. Emperor's Divide is not going to connect onto too much more than just Lucid, as now Pays could be in trouble. Xiu looking to try and find it, but he blast codes to get himself out, and now Faker against the world. He goes golden and gives Oner the space to go ballistic. Flashes to the side, denies Xiu, and there is is the GOAT. Ladies and gentlemen, locking down the ace and securing the third game of the series.
A scrappy fight, and DPLUS really try their best to make it happen, but unfortunately the gold isn't there, but Faker is, and he shuts down any attempt. Going to be going to a game 3 in the series, and honestly, game 1 was 17-2, game 2 15-4. Been pretty dominant both games so far.
Yeah, let's see what happens in game number 3. Man, I'm very interested to see whether T1 can ride this momentum or whether DPLUS can utilize their right of first selection in order to find a victory here. Both times, though, I feel like the drafts were a bit wonky. T1 able